What's up guys, Crone here bringing you a 5.2 PTR update. I'm on the PTR, I had some troubles getting on here, it was actually really hard despite what it might sound like because it's just basically where you would download another client and log in. That in the case of me, not happening. I had some bugs, it thought I had Cataclysm for some reason, I don't know, a lot of people was having it, they've managed to clear it up for me, I don't know if it's cleared up for you. If you haven't checked it, you should go and definitely see if it's cleared up for you now. As far as the damage goes for monks, I can't really say it's in a good place. Not because of the damage is shit, but because they are so crazy that you will not understand or believe me unless you've seen it for yourself. What's happening is we are getting literally from stacking mastery, your reach numbers of 43% increased damage when you use your Tiger Eye Brew. Now that might not sound much to most people, but I'm just going to explain a little thing or two. Right now it takes you a minute roughly to get it up with 100% uptime to get your Tiger Eye Brew to 10 stacks. You're now able to get Tiger Eye Brew up to 20 stacks, but you can only use 10 at a time, which sounds fair enough to me. I think that's great, and I think that's fine. But currently, you have to use 4 chi to get 1 stack of Tiger Eye Brew. They've switched that to 2 on the PTR, which means it's half the time. So 30 seconds uptime means you have a full 10 stacks of Tiger Eye Brew. 1 minute of uptime means you have 20, so you can use those back to back. So you have 43% damage increase for 15 seconds, and then another 15 seconds of 43% increased damage. Obviously, you can't use your other trinkets and stuff like that, which is fair enough. Now, here's the next part, which makes this even worse. Anyone right now on live can get 5k mastery, which would be about the same as what I'm saying, 43% increased damage when you use Tiger Eye Brew. And obviously, I've got this, and my gear, I'm going to show you on screen right now. I have like 2 agility gems, and everything else is resilience stacked, and mastery anywhere I can. I've took all the mastery items. I've obviously got 2 dancing steels, so I can proc that out. I managed to get 250k damage hits of Rising Sun Kick on the dummies. And obviously the dummies have their own built-in resistances, and nobody ever really has told me how much the damage resistance or damage reduction they have built into the dummies, but I can hit 250k on a dummy. On the standard dummy, not the raid dummy, the standard dummy, outside of the main city in Pandaria. After resilience, which I currently have 65%, I think that's about average for full Malevolent when you've stacked resilience over anything else. 65% would give you 88k damage. Wow, to be exact, as far as of my numbers, I had 251,931 damage on Rising Sun Kick. After resilience, it would be 88,730 damage. That's on Rising Sun Kick. Blackout Kick, I would get 153,708 damage. Resilience kicks in, 53,797 damage. I'm in 15 seconds on the dummy. I managed to get 6 Blackout Kicks out, about 20 melee hits, 2 Rising Sun Kicks, 6 jabs, and a Tiger Palm. You might lose 1 Blackout Kick, and the Tiger Palm might go, but that's kind of irrelevant on the most part, mostly because I'm going to tell you the numbers of the other things. So if you had crits on every single one, so those 2 numbers I said before was the biggest crits I had. So we're going to say around about there, so 250k, and which would be cut down to about 88k damage through resilience. And the same with the Blackout Kick, we're looking at 53k after resilience from 153k. So what you're looking at is with 6 Blackout Kicks, 322,782 from the big number I had before. And with Rising Sun Kicks, you were looking at 177,460 damage. If you add those 2 numbers together, you get 500,242. So that's about 500k damage in 15 seconds from 2 moves that I've used. 6 Blackout Kicks and 2 Rising Sun Kicks. That's 8 moves. That's 8 globals in a sense. Obviously, you've got to use jabs, so 6 jabs. And if you add 6 jabs together, 20 melee hits, Tiger Palm, you have your random other procs from other things added in there. You're going to be looking at 600k damage, and that's mad because right now most people have about 370k health, maybe. I've got 364k with full Malevolent gear. None of it's upgraded though, and this is on the PTR. We're looking at some crazy damage here, and I can't explain how much this is going to be in a way that will make you understand apart from just trying to give you the numbers. 600k damage in 15 seconds. Right now, on live, monks can CC someone, right? Let's say it's a healer. It theoretically, 8 seconds paralysis, 5 seconds leg sweep, another 4 second paralysis after that, and and a 4-second silence after that. You could also Fist of Fury after that as well if you had the chi, but this is all really hard to land. Paralysis, you have to land from behind to get it to land for 8 seconds. Leg sweep, you have to be right next to the guy. You can't use it from range or anything. Paralysis, you also kind of need to be behind them in melee range, because otherwise you're going to end up with 4 seconds paralysis, and it's really shit that way. Obviously, leg sweep, you got to be right next to them. Silence, you got to be in front of them and land it. But let's say you could do all that. That would give you 21 seconds of CC. Obviously, this is all really hard to land. We're talking, you know, you've got to... I can't even explain. It's really hard to land all of that, and they would have to be right next to you for you to be able to do it while you're trying to do all this damage, and obviously you're using those globals, so it would be a lot less time, and you probably end up with about 15 seconds, let's be honest, that you actually do the damage. So that would actually end up with that 600k damage. And on live, this CC isn't overpowered or anything like that, and the damage is fine. Obviously, no, you aren't seeing any high-rated monks right now, and I wouldn't say that's anything to do with that people aren't practiced enough with them. It's more to do with the fact their lack of certain mechanics and certain cleanness of their abilities. A lot of stuff costs chi when it shouldn't cost chi, and they're taking that away on the PTR, so we're looking at some big changes. But 600k damage on your own is ridiculous. There's too much in that amount of time, 15 seconds, especially seems people could CC. So as soon as your trinket's gone and your damage reduction's gone, that monk can solo someone. And even with the damage reduction, if you have 2 people attacking that one guy, if you had 2 monks attacking that guy, that's 1.2 million damage, and that's mad. 1,200,000 damage. You're looking at unhealable damage from monks right now. There's no joke. You could solo a healer pretty easily with the 4-second silence and the 5-second stun. 5-second stun into 4-second silence is a dead healer. They'd have to trinket the leg sweep or they die. In 5 seconds, you can do a rising sun kick, right? So that's 88k, 2 blackout kicks, no, 3 blackout kicks, and you probably have to jab in between. So this is assuming you had full T before. 3 blackout kicks and 2 rising sun kicks would add up to be around 240k damage. And that's on your own, and that is most of someone's health. And that's during 1 stun. 1 stun, 5 seconds. Their damage needs a nerf, and I'm going to explain how I think they need to do it. And it's pretty simple. I can't explain how simple this is. And this is coming from a monk. I feel like the damage is overpowered right now, and I don't want it to go stupid. I want to be able to feel like I'm playing a class that isn't overpowered. I want to be feeling equal. I think everyone should be equal, and then it becomes about skill rather than anything else, and maybe a bit gear. I want it to be a little bit gear and more about skill. We're looking at 43% damage increase. I think at most anyone should be able to get at any single time is 20%. And the longest duration you need to be able to have that up is 30 seconds. Right now, that would screw us over. 20% for 30 seconds, which is what we can potentially do. Well, maybe about 25% maybe. But I think that's fine. 25% maybe. With, like, let's say with procs and stuff. Because I'm thinking, like, with using your with Dancing Steel procking and stuff like that, you're going to be looking at way too much. So 25%, I think they need to do is literally half Tiger Eye Brew right now. I think that the amount it stacks up is fine, and because obviously people use it for other things like the heal and stuff you can get from healing elixirs, which is a talent, and I think that would be fine. I think that would balance us mostly, or they could take it and make 3 chi instead of 2 chi, and then they still need to nerf it down to at least 30%. I cannot, they need to literally take off 10%, at least 10%, and by doing that they would need to do it with a scaling, so you could have, because you could potentially get 6k mastery, which would be about 3.6% plus the 1% you get as standard, so you'd be looking at 46% increased damage. I know 3% isn't much, but I feel like that's much to me. I think they need to literally half the amount you get from it, so it would be, instead of 1.7%, you'd be looking at a lot less. You get 1.6% as standard, so you're already at 26%. They need to nerf that number. I don't know why they're leaving it like it is now. I don't know why they want them overpowered. This is going to be DKs in Season 5 and 6. That's all I've got to say, guys, on this. I know I'm a monk, and I shouldn't be saying that we're overpowered, but I don't want this to go live. I want to feel skilled. I also think that rogues right now need a nerf as far as it is on the PTR. Haven't seen them all that much, but what I have seen of them, they seem ridiculous. That's all from me. Hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to leave a comment on what I've said. Is 43% damage too much? I consider it to be too much to myself, and I don't know whether this is fair at all. Getting hit for 88k through 65% resilience is ridiculous. Although I do get hit by that by mages, even though they did get a nerf recently to that frost bomb. And I'm still getting hit by 100ks. But, you know, you'd be doing 88k, and then straight after it you'd be hitting for 53k. You're looking at 140k damage in a global or something like that. You know, one shot 140k. You know, that's too much pressure. Obviously it's during cooldowns. That's all from me, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye!